Hit subscribe to the DIY Writer to support your hardworking authors and also lessen your chances of ending up as a victim in their next book. Join me at the first annual Icarus Book Convention, May 8th and 9th. This conference has a great lineup of speakers, including little old me, talking about podcasts, vlogs, and other neat author stuff. Go to Icarus, Iqarus Book, con.com for more information. Hope to see you there. This is Jeff from the DIY Writer Podcast. Today, we're going to talk about Between Worlds, The Legend of the Starbreather, Book 1, with KT Wilder. KT has written a book about, oh my gosh, hold on to your seats, a virus. It's not the little COVID thing. This one's much bigger. Oh, it's scarier too. And she's looking to patent it because you know what? She wrote about scary viruses way before the Chinese released theirs. But anyway, other than that, KT, how you doing today?
I am doing good.
Yeah?
Yeah. I'm cold, but I'm good.
Cold? Down in Texas, you're cold? What happened?
Very cold in Texas.
Very cold.
Blizzard decided to hit us.
Oh.
Big blizzard. There's snow everywhere, and I don't do this very often.
Yeah, looking at the pictures on social media, people are struggling down there. Frozen pipes, no water. You know, they're thawing out snow in their tubs to, have drinking and potable water or flush. Like you said, flush toilets or,
Flushing toilets is very important, I realize. Yeah. That's one thing that you really miss.
Well, you could just go outside on your deck and just,
Bucket in the garage.
Yeah, honey buckets. We call them honey buckets up in Alaska, I think. Yeah. They're not made out of honey.
No, they're not.
Nothing sweet about that.
Nope.
Or diapers. Diapers work.
Diapers, hey, you know what? You do what you gotta do.
You do. I have a 10-month-old who she does a lot of what she has to do.
Oh well. 10 months old.
10 months old, yes.
Exciting though.
But we're not here to talk about babies and poopy diapers. We're here to talk about your books.
Yes.
Well, tell us all about your book.
All right. So, as you said, it starts with a virus. It was happened 10 years starts, and it's about this one person is kind of we have one main character, and then we have a group of people that she is most close to and spends the most time with when she is in their area. She tends to wander a lot, and she's one of the guardians. She protects the area that was ravaged by the virus, and now she's in this endless loop around the country as she travels throughout the year and reports back anything that she sees. And the book kind of kicks off when she finds someone not supposed to be alive anymore, and signs of the virus coming back. Kind of cascades into an issue that hits pretty quick. I get to the action pretty fast.
So you're hitting them with the action pretty fast, but this is just book 1.
It is just book 1. Book 2 is chaotic, to say the least.
Oh my.
For someone that doesn't actually like to write fight scenes, I have a lot of fight scenes in the books.
Well, that seems odd if you don't like fight scenes, but you're writing them in the books.
It's necessary. You got to do what's necessary for the story. And the more you write them, the better you get at it. At least that's what my best friend says. Sure. She really likes fight scenes. I don't.
Okay.
I'm not very good at them.
What don't you like about fight scenes?
I don't know. It gets really confusing in my head about describing movement and where hands go and where feet go and what collides with what. And it's easy when you're watching like a Marvel movie to kind of play it out that way. But when it's coming out of my head, I find that describing them is a little bit of a challenge.
You should go to a gym.
I should go to a gym. I really should. Maybe when the snow is over and COVID is less of a fear.
Yeah, I keep on forgetting about COVID. That is a factor.
Ongoing issue.
Yeah, whatever. A virus. What the heck?
I don't know. My book shows that viruses get out of hand really fast.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we can all relate to that.
Shuts everything down.
This virus that you wrote about, though, this didn't quite come from a lab in China. This actually came from someplace else.
Yes. So the source of the virus actually does not get described in detail until book 2, which is something I've been working on presently. But the virus itself, I'm a huge fan of zombie movies, so I kind of played off of that.
You like zombie movies, huh?
I do. I really like zombie and horror movies.
Well, okay. Horror movies I get. Zombie movies, why do you like those?
No, I really like the whole fight for survival and trying to figure out what is this virus, what is it doing, how does it start, and I really liked what was it, World War Z, because they really go in and they started the virus and it processes through them trying to figure out the problem. And I really like, I don't know why, I just really am attracted to that kind of story.
So are you into fast zombies or are you into slow zombies?
Slow zombies.
Slow zombies.
Slow zombies. I don't want them as slow. I want them slow, but in big groups, because that's when when you can't get away, that's your problem.
Okay. So if they're like, there's a group of them, all you have to do is walk twice as fast and you're out of it.
Exactly. Theoretically, but if you're surrounded, where are you going?
Well, you don't get surrounded. I mean,
you hope you don't let
them flank you.
Don't let them flank you.
Yeah, don't run into a horde of zombies. I mean, pretty simple.
Logically, yes. You would think that wouldn't be as big of an issue, but in a city, it is.
Well, yeah, okay. I'll give you a city, but when you watch like The Walking Dead, and they're walking in the middle of the forest, and these things are running into trees and making all sorts of noise, and they're not exactly stealthy zombies.
No, but they still manage to kill people.
They're all of a sudden surrounded. And it's like, how the hell did that happen to you? You're out in the middle of the woods. You can hear everything for miles. And this horde of zombies all of a sudden sneaks up on you. My ass. Whatever.
Well, you're looking at the ones in front of you. You don't see the ones behind.
Oh, climb a tree.
You'd have to be able to climb a tree.
Oh, yeah, but climb a tree.
Not everybody can do that.
Oh, okay.
No, but also, in a world like mine, the problem is when the zombies are not just people and like small animals, when they're much larger animals with the ability to fly, that's when your problem gets bigger.
So you have zombie birds?
Zombie birds, and I have a few dragons that may or may not have been issued with that issue.
Oh, is that in book 2?
No, actually, that is book 1.
Book Zombie Dragons.
A little bit in book 2. Little bit in book 2. Yeah, I have these furry dragons that are called Weir in the book, and they play a very integral role in the function of the world and the guardians and really the source of everything, which is more in book 2. There's a lot in book 2 that I'm really excited about.
All right, let's try not to spoil book 2 there,
I'll try not to. I sent a picture of my family today, a picture of my whiteboard that has the next chunk of the book outlined, and I blurred it out, and I was like, here you go. Here's book 2.
My family comes in here, and I have cork boards, and I have 3M big sticky pads, and I got the sticky notes all over the place and everything else, and they really can't tell if I just really like sticky notes or if I'm actually mapping out a book. It just like this makes no sense. Like, no, this section over here, yeah, so this is going to be chapters 1 through 5, and then over here, and then I try and
it's how it connects. Right, it's very important.
I actually have
the little red strings.
I actually have six Post-it notes because I ran out of string. That are it's an arrow pointing to another, where I have a group of, and I take things and I throw ideas up and it's like, this goes over here, this goes over here. And it makes sense in my mind. It's just nobody else can decipher it. So,
that's kind of a good thing though. You don't want anyone to look at it and know.
Right. It's
my to be kind of obscure
code just in case Stephen King comes into my house and tries to steal my ideas. Damn it.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. He'll be like, this guy, Right.
You never know. You might have the next Netflix series in your back pocket. I'm kind of hoping that happens today, but
yeah. I could also have the winning lottery ticket too.
That too.
Right, and then I'll just write for fun.
Oh, that'd be nice.
Yeah.
That'd be really nice. That's the dream right there.
Well, the dream is to write unrestricted at all times and
Always.
not worry about, just, yeah, this might be crap. It might be not. Just throw it out. And, somebody gives you a 1 star. It's like, I don't care. I'm still a millionaire. Winning, type stuff.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. But, otherwise, when you're still just a poor, desperate author, you try and adhere to some rules, I guess. I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
Trying
2 jobs and, yeah, a lot of book 1 was actually planned and plotted out on notes and on waitressing tickets because I was working full time. So I used to have this box of just waitressing tickets with notes on them. And I think I worked with my mom at the time, and I think she hated me because I went through ticketing books so fast. Because any moment break I'd have, I'd be like, that's a good idea. Because, you always get all your ideas when you're at work and you can't do anything. And then when you get home, you just sit there and stare at a blank Word document like, where did that inspiration go?
Right.
Who
It's exactly the way it happens. Or you're driving and, all of a sudden you make a voice note or something like that. Or, or, playing, I'll be playing with the kids. I'll be like, oh, stop having fun. I have to go write something,
Just notebooks spread out everywhere.
Right.
Just in case.
My problem would be that there'd be pictures of Ariel in every one of them. Be like, here's this really great idea, and here'd be my 3-year-old going, honey, what are you doing? This is Ariel with Sven.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
The Disney princess age.
Yeah. She still wants to be a princess, but anyway. So what else you got going on? You're working on book 2. You got any other projects that you're kind of hunkering down on, or?
Yeah, there is one project that I've actually been working on it's on and off for a few years now. The idea came to me a while ago, but it's featured on my website. It's called The Story of Us, and it's a family of 8 siblings and the story of the parents. And it kind of goes through different arcs of their lives, but the catch is that the entire family is somehow related to the supernatural. So one of the siblings was turned into a vampire, and then 2 of the siblings are werewolves, and you get all these different mixes. One of the siblings rabbit hole like Alice in Wonderland and ended up in another world for 5 years, and then she came back, and it's this whole family that is somewhere or another involved, and it gets crazy. I haven't plotted out too much of it. I have a lot more of the characters than I have the actual plot, but I'm excited about it. It's going to be a long project for sure. It's going to take a while, but
I gotta be honest with you. When you first started describing, like, oh, good, another family drama. Yeah, that'll make it to Netflix,
Yeah, right. You never know.
Yeah, right. Holiday in Handcuffs or something like that. Somebody wrote that stuff, Yeah, it'll be Hallmark or something like that. But then once you got into the supernatural stuff, then you had me at werewolf.
Okay, I'm glad. I like werewolves. They're one of my favorites.
Yeah, they're cool.
I like the werewolves.
They're cool,
it's a fun story. It has potential, a lot of potential for different things, but it's kind of a hidden world of supernatural. They work for a coalition of people that are, the whole purpose is, they call themselves hunters, but the whole purpose is to maintain balance between the normal world that doesn't know anything and the supernatural world that's living in tandem with it. So it's fun. It's fun. It's going to be cool if I ever finish it. If it ever gets finished. It's hard. I feel like I've been working on Between Worlds for so long now that it's really taken up a lot of my life and my time, especially over the last few years when it really got really picked up speed. And COVID was great because I actually married, moved in with my wife, and we shut down everything. She didn't go to work. I didn't have a job. So 7 months of us just staying in the house. And that's probably the only reason the book actually managed to get published finally, was I had time. I spent 19 hours formatting the book for Amazon. Yeah, I calculated it was 19. It took me, I could not do it. And I had no money to pay somebody. So it was a lot of Google and formatting, but I had the time to spend that 19 hours formatting and published to Amazon.
Wow.
And then I ended up double spacing the whole book by accident. But I you know what though? I have older family members and people that have told me I really loved the book. The spacing helped me read it. And I actually have a friend that's dyslexic that read the book and was like, it was so much easier when the words weren't so close together. And so I'm like, all right, book 2 is going to be the same way.
Yeah.
I'm just going to double space it.
That's funny. Well, you know, it makes the page count really nice.
It does, which is a pretty nice page count without it, but I like holding my my little copy, like I wrote this.
Yeah.
I like it.
Oh, shoot. Do you have a Mac?
A Mac?
Yeah.
No, I have Windows.
Oh, okay.
I am 100% Windows and Samsung, and my family is not. So,
Oh, okay.
actually, a family that works for Apple, and everyone's real Apple. And I'm like, I grew up on Windows. My dad was a programmer engineer, and I'm like, I'm good. I can fix stuff with Windows. I don't know what to do with the Mac.
So I bought a Mac, and the only reason I bought a Mac was because of Vellum. You know what Vellum is?
I might be thinking of something else.
Okay. Vellum is a book formatting program. You load up your Word doc,
yes,
and then you put a template down, and then boom, done. And it is literally, you can literally do it in like 10, 15 minutes.
So what you're saying is, instead of spending 19 hours next time, I should download Vellum to my wife's
I'm not
MacBook.
saying it. You can spend your time any way you want. You can do whatever you want. It is all your time to do with whatever you do with.
Well, not anymore. I'm back to work. I don't have that 19 hours.
Now, Vellum is really cool because you spend a little bit of time up front, and I would say you spend about an hour playing with it, and then you can load books and just shoot them out really quick.
Okay, I'm going to write that down and use my wife's Mac to do that, because I have my Windows and I have Scrivener, which is the best thing in the world.
Oh, no.
Scrivener. I love Scrivener. I love it.
Why?
I am in love. I love it. It's because for me, especially, book one, I did on Google Docs, which was so frustrating because once you get to a certain length on Google Docs, it freezes constantly.
Sure.
So when I had the whole book uploaded on there, it was so hard to go through and edit because I had to scroll up, scroll down, and it would freeze constantly. So it took forever to actually go through and piece it together.
Uh-huh.
But with Scrivener, I have everything in a file. And so I have each scene laid out. But then at the end, you can merge it all into one, and it tells you the whole word count, and you can download it that way.
Uh-huh.
And so I really like the tools to break it up like that. And I like having the little note card layout that's available on the Cork. And yeah, I don't know. I got it, and I am 100% in love with it.
You know, and I really don't have too much of a problem with it, except for I hate it. Yeah, I know.
Well, what do you recommend?
Well, I use Word. I use straight Word.
Word.
Yep, Word up.
I had Word for a while before I discovered Google Docs. Google Docs is I could do it from my phone. So like when I was at work, or if I was just out and about, if I had an idea, I could just throw it on the Google Doc and it's there. And it saves. Because I'm out a lot. My horses are boarded at a barn in Weatherford. So sometimes like I don't keep my laptop with me all the time, and I don't always have a notebook. I should, but I have my phone, so I can upload stuff there and then it gets saved. And I'm also a big person on,
you know they make Word for phones too, right? I
do know that. I have that on there. It is on there. But I like the syncing because I don't trust technology not to fail me, and then I'm never going to get my stuff back. which is, you know, yes, I totally agree with that. Yes. And so I like having programs back up, because for some reason the cloud hates me. I can't get it to work for nothing. The cloud hates everybody. No. And I'm like, no. So, and I used to back stuff up on drives, but then I would drop the drive. Oh, it's all gone. Or it malfunctions, and I'm like, no, I don't trust technology. At least if it's on a program that I have an account for, it'll come back. So I'm just going to throw this out there. If you back up to a drive and drop it, that's not technology's fault. No, that's not. That's me. But that's the thing. I don't trust myself. But then I've also had drives just randomly malfunction. So I'm paranoid. There's a little paranoid. Random. Everything means something. No, I'm just. It better not mean you just wrote 50,000 words. Allow me to delete all of it. Because I'm almost there with book 2. I'm fighting for that word count. So about 2 weeks ago, Windows in the middle of the night, for some reason, I'm not sure how this setting got changed on my computer, but
it decided it was going to do an update, and it rebooted all by itself. So I, woke up in the morning. I think I'll sit down and write for a little while. Yeah, came down and everything. It's would you like to log into your machine? And it's like, wait, log in? What do you mean?
It restarted.
Yeah, but I was lucky enough to where Word had backed it up. Said, hey, you have this malformed document sitting out here. Would you like to retrieve it? God, yes. Hurry up. And of course, at that time, I have a pretty fast computer, and but at that particular time, it took like 5 minutes. I'm sitting there just like, oh God,
in full panic mode.
Oh God,
oh God, what do I do if it's gone forever?
Yeah, and that's I hadn't saved it or anything like that. It's something I did the night before. And so I mean, I did get it back, but it's just like, it was like 4,000 words worth of unsaved work. It's like, oh God, I don't even remember what I was writing.
I would like to point out that Scrivener autosaves.
Yeah, and then that's fine. It's just the 42 hours it takes to learn that program.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm still not sure about how to organize things in categories, but I figured out how to make it work for me. So
yeah, no. And that that's kind of what's important, is that you find something that works for you. Like I said, I just it drove me nuts because I'm kind of a pantser anyway. So I mean, I outline stuff kind of, and then I destroy my outlines with the story. And then I kind of go back and try and straighten it out. And it's a complete weird process that Scrivener would look at me and go, what the hell are you doing, buddy? That's why I use Word, because Word lets you do all sorts of stupid stuff as far as organization goes. And it doesn't ask me any weird questions. It doesn't look at me funny when I boot up my computer or nothing. It's kind of like that, that dumb friend that you go, well, that sounds good. Yeah, good job.
Yeah, and Scrivener judges you.
Yeah, it does. Word's like a dog, just feed me a little bit of RAM and I'm fine,
Yeah. And it does have the option to autosave on Word, I think.
Scrivener's more like a cat, high maintenance, and it's always sitting there judging you. Yeah, that's
true.
I'm not a cat person, so yeah, that's it.
I'm more of a dog person. That's a really good point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but anyway.
Yeah, I'm the same way when it comes to outlines. I come up with a plan and then I can't write the plan, so I go the other way. That was how book 1 went. Well, but with book 2, for the sequel, you have to outline so things make sense. And my brain is like, why? Do we have to?
Do we have to? Yeah.
Yes, we do. The outline has worked a little bit more this book than it did the last one, but I actually don't have a ton more to write, so I'm actually pretty excited about that. I did a new outline today of just kind of trying to align so I know where I'm at when I actually do get writing time. And yeah, I don't have that much left, which is exciting for a first draft.
Yeah, and then you get to the the editing and the rewriting it for the second draft.
Oh yeah. It took eight drafts for book 2, book 1. 8 drafts, somewhere around there, and I'm hoping not to do as many drafts with this book because I have my grandmother. God bless you. I love you. You're probably going to watch this. She made me promise that I would finish the book before she died. Okay. That was the first thing she messaged me after she finished reading book 1 is, you need to finish this now. I'm like, I'm trying. I promise.
How old's your grandmother?
88.
88. Well, you got 12 more years.
She's kicking. She's good. Both my grandmothers are doing awesome. I promise to get the book done. I promised a first draft by Christmas, and that just isn't what happened.
Did you say Christmas of 2020, or did you just say Christmas?
I said I can get a draft done in 4 months. Heck yeah, let's do this. It's not what happened. It's just not. It's not. I ended up with COVID, and
it's kind of funny, but I think COVID has. I don't think there's any middle ground. I think it's been one of two things for authors. Either it was the best thing in the world that got them to settle down and write a whole bunch of stuff, or they can completely lock their mind up because of, the worries of what's going on in the world, and they couldn't write anything. They could barely write an email.
It's like, I wish I had time to just sit at home and just relax and write for days. And then COVID hit, and it's like, well, now I don't want to.
Right. Well,
no, I don't want to. I want to go.
Right. I want to be out and about. I want to do this. I want to do that. And yeah.
Oh, yeah. I didn't have a choice. I dislocated my knee when I first moved into the house, and so I couldn't walk for 30 days.
Ruh-roh.
Yeah, I could hardly bear weight, so I just sat in my recliner and ended up playing a lot of video games.
Oh yeah, what kind of video games you play?
I have a PlayStation 4, and I'm really into Assassin's Creed, and games like Assassin's Creed are kind of my favorite. And then my wife got interested in a game our friend was playing, so I got a new laptop. She got a gaming computer from wedding money left over, and we ended up playing a lot of survival games. So there's a game called Subsistence that we play, and you get dropped into a world and you have to try and survive the world. And there's bears and there's wolves that want to eat you, and then there's other hunters, and you have to build a cabin and find food. And that's one we really like.
I'm just sitting here thinking, it was a mere 15 minutes ago that you got done telling me you don't like writing fight scenes. What games do you play? Assassin's Creed.
It's okay. The best. Yeah. I don't have to write it, though. I can watch it.
Okay. Yeah. I was imagining it was some board game like Mario board game, or
I like Mario Kart too. And I really like farming simulators. Stardew Valley is one that my best friend got me into, and it's fun.
I just wasn't expecting an Assassin's Creed,
I am diehard Assassin's Creed. I could play Assassin's Creed Syndicate over and over and never get bored. And the new one's cool because it's Vikings.
Oh,
it's a lot more fighting, but I like it. Yeah, the new one's cool.
A lot more fighting, huh?
I don't like writing it, but I'll play it all day.
But I love seeing it. Okay.
Yeah, I do like the gory details of things. So that's definitely a little bit more. I think I get a little more detailed in book 2, but the blood and the gore is something that I like to write.
Yeah. Yeah, hence the zombie,
Yeah. Yeah, and then medical. I love medical stuff. I'm in the medical field. I'm a licensed physical therapist assistant. I wanted to go for nursing, but I didn't think I could do it, so I kind of was like, I like therapy. Therapy's cool, so I started doing that. But part of me's always like, I should have gone and done nursing. Maybe I was a doctor in another life. I don't know, but I love everything that encompasses why I hurt my characters so much. Because I'm like, I want to fix them.
I could see going into into therapy, into physical therapy or something like that. I look at those poor nurses in the hospitals and in the clinics and stuff, and I'm just like, I don't know why you do this.
Because they want to help. I have nurse friends, and they're some of the best people I've ever met. Oh, and they're so quick to help people, and I'm like, that's just the innate characteristic of nurses.
Absolutely.
But they look crazy sometimes, because I've seen what nurses have to do, and I'm like, they don't pay you enough for that.
No, they do not. I've heard too many stories from nurses. It's like, and you want to go back to work tomorrow?
I know, like after 3 days of 14-hour shifts, are you sure?
Yeah.
This is worth it.
Yeah. I got a day off on Saturday. Oh, woohoo. Way to go. It's been 2 weeks. I get it. Yeah. That's
exactly. Cool. I have a friend that was an OR nurse, and I have a friend that did emergency room and a little bit of everything. And then I have a friend that was a flight nurse on a helicopter. Yeah. And still does flight nurse training for people. And yeah, it's important for writers to have nurse friends, I feel like, because we get way better details about treatment for stuff than like Google.
I don't know. I think the occasional YouTube video is not too bad for as far as education goes. But
no, for sure.
Sure. Nurses and people that have actually seen stuff, so they can give you a different perspective, I think is really good. But again, they're crazy. I don't know why they, just some of the people they have to deal with, and
I can't. I did therapy in hospital and nursing home, and I'm like, putting up with families is hard. I feel like dealing with the patient is one thing. Dealing with the patient's family is a whole other animal.
Yeah. Yep. Well, even sometimes the patients. Oh yeah. Sometimes the patients are just hard to get along with.
Oh yeah. Especially when you come in after they've had a hip replacement, and you're like, okay, it's time to walk, and they're like, no. And I'm like, you have to. Oh, they won't pay me if you don't.
You know what? I did that. I had a hip replacement.
Oh gosh.
it was beautiful.
Got to get to walking on it as soon
It
as you can.
it was the best thing I'd ever done. So
Nice.
I abused my body for quite a few many years, and I had cracked my hip, and a little bit of bone was floating around in there. And then of course it got affixed in the joint, and then it got, kind of worn out, so it looked like a football. And I'm walking around like a hobbling, and everything else. And finally it's like, fine, we're just gonna get this thing replaced, and the doctor did an amazing job. I did the spinal block, so I didn't go to sleep.
Yeah. Oh, you were awake.
Kind of. I mean, they kind of put you into a kind of
they
a
still
sleep.
sedate you. But...
Yeah, I mean, you can still hear the bzzz, the
Oh
chainsaw and crap, but I mean, you really don't know what's going on. It's like sound effects someplace else. I mean,
gosh.
I mean, you're like in a light sleep. I mean, so I mean, it's like you're dreaming.
Twilight Zone.
It's like one of those alien abduction dreams, where you feel your arm being, I could feel them lifting up my leg and stuff. I just didn't realize it wasn't attached at that point,
Oh my God. I couldn't do that, especially we had to watch a lot of surgery videos to get ready for treating them. And I'm like, I could not be partially awake for any part of that at all. I would not. I'm good.
The only thing that went a little bit awry was the anesthesiologist evidently put too much whatever it was into my spinal tap to numb me.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't regain the use of my feet. I couldn't move my toes for an extended period of time.
Oh,
so
wow.
I in recovery a little for a couple hours more than they thought I should. Which I was happy with, because you know what, the less you can feel down there when you're chopping your leg off and putting a new piece in, I think the better off you are.
I agree, especially if you got the feeling back, for sure. That's a
came back.
Good.
They're sitting there and they're saying, well, and they're having this argument in front of me, which was really kind of fun. It wasn't the doctor, it was like the nurses like, well, I think you gave him too much. And I'm sitting there listening to him, and I'm like, I'm the customer here. I think he did I think he did fine. I think he did fine.
I feel great. We're good.
Get off his ass, Gladys. But yeah, there I am abusing a nurse. But so we got up to my room, and the doctor comes in and tells me, everything went great and blah, 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 blah. And then the very next thing is a nurse and a physical therapist. And the physical therapist has to approve me before I can leave the hospital. I'm slated for a 2-day stay. And the first thing I said was, number one, we're going to get this damn catheter out as soon as possible. I said, number two, I want out in a day. And he said, well, this is what you have to do. And I said, great. Give me the walker. And
you're our kind of patient. I wish more were like you.
Got up and we walked around. And then they stopped me. They said, well, you should probably sit down and rest. It's like, I can do another lap. And I said, well, okay, let's do one more lap. And then you got to rest. And they're right. I should have not done that next lap. I was tired.
Yeah.
But I was okay, and I refused to take a walker home. Because I have steps. I said, I'm just going to use crutches. No problem.
Oh, gosh. You're a brave soul.
Why?
You're just a brave soul.
Oh.
Crutches and hip replacement. I'm just imagining it.
Well, I went back to work in a week.
Whoa. Okay.
I'm sorry, 10 days. 10 days was as soon as I get back into the doctor to give me a release. But I was actually logging into work within a week, because I'm an IT guy. I can do whatever I want. But
okay, there you go.
Whatever. But so then the physical therapist the next day, I had my crutches there. And he said, okay, you're going to have to prove to me that you can use crutches and walk up a stairs. Well, I'm a pro at using crutches, number one. Number two, okay, you want me to go upstairs? That's fine. So we walk into the stairwell, okay? And the physical therapist is sitting there talking to my wife, not even paying attention to me. And I'm like, okay, I'm just going to walk upstairs. So I go up the stairs. And I turn around and look at them, and neither one of them are paying any attention to the crippled guy walking up the stairs with crutches. They're sitting there gabbing.
That's a no-no.
Almost flirting. And it's like, okay. So I went up the next flight of stairs. And I just stood there. And then all of a sudden, hey, where'd you go? I'm up here. Okay, you can come back down now. We're going to watch you. It's like, oh, okay. So I went down the stairs, stood on the stoop, looked down. They're like, oh, that's really good. And they started talking to me. It's like, I made my way down. And, well, I guess there's no reason for you to be here. We just have to take you through the, the physical therapy class, which is like 2 hours of teaching how to put your socks on, how to get out of a chair, how to, all of that kind of stuff.
Have to keep your hip from redislocating itself.
Yeah. Which hurts like hell.
Oh, yeah. The revisions are not fun.
I was able to pop mine back in.
Oh, God.
So I'll tell you that story in a minute. I know I'm interviewing you, but I'm telling you the stupid story. But
I'm interested. I love this stuff.
So went through the class, bought all the tools, the sock thing and the strap to lift your leg up and, the back scratcher thingamajigger, the shoehorn, blah, blah,
all the tools.
Bought all that stuff. The raised toilet seat, which was awesome.
Yeah, I liked the raised toilet seats.
Yeah.
They should all be higher, to be fair.
All should be higher. The squatty potty is not a good idea. But anyway, so then get me out of the hospital. I struggled to get into the car. That's fine. Finally get home, plop my butt in a chair. It's like, oh, thank God. And I fell asleep. I think I don't know. I think I slept for 12 hours, woke up and had to pee really bad. And everybody else is asleep. And it's like, oh, shit. So I made it to the bathroom. And yeah, that's fine. But no accidents happened in this house. But
going back to our earlier conversation, that's what diapers are for.
That's what diapers are for. So anyway, they told me the fastest way to recover was to walk. And so I would get up and I'd go out the door on my crutches and I'd walk around the block. And we live on a circle, so it's just about a half mile. And so I'm walking a half mile. And my wife would go with me, or the kids would kind of help me a little bit, kind of. But so I just started doing that. Well, my wife wanted to go back to work, so it's like, yeah, don't worry about it. I can get up, I can take care of myself during the day, no problem. And so I decided I was going to be really smart. I was going to stop taking pain meds, and I was going to go for a 2-mile walk. So I walked around 4 times, went in the house, laid in my chair, and I slept for 24 hours. Just like, yeah, I might have been pushing a little bit too much, but it didn't really matter. I got it done.
When you stopped taking pain meds, you are definitely a brave. You're a brave person. That's impressive.
I stopped because I wanted to drive. That makes sense. I needed to be able to drive to work. And if I couldn't drive to work, then that was going to be a real hard problem. So that's what I think is after 3 days, I took the oxy and whatever. The only thing I had to stay on, I think, was the warfarin for the blood. Yeah.
Because you worry about the blood clots that early with anything.
Yeah.
And those are even more not fun.
I have this thing about stroking out. Didn't want to do it. So I
wouldn't either.
End of story, no real big deal. Fast forward about 4 or 5 months. Okay. Weights. I'm doing everything I possibly can to get it stronger. I'm trying to do as much physical activity as I possibly can. I have a heavy bag in the back. And, I'm sitting there and kind of punching it, trying to get a little bit of cardio in, whatever.
Yeah.
I decided I'm going to throw a knee into it just for fun. Well, I threw a knee into it with the wrong leg, let's say. And that son of a gun popped out. I hit the floor hard. I mean, it just stung me. And when I hit the floor, it popped back in, which stung me again.
God. I mean, at least it went back in though.
And it's like, okay, rule number 1, don't do that again. Rule number 2, somebody help me the hell up. And it took me like another week to be walking straight again because it just hurt.
Oh yeah. Dislocating anything. Like when I did my kneecap, I was bending down the wrong way, which I should have known. It was the wrong. I was going to take a knee and my foot just went out and it popped my kneecap right off. I already have knee issues, so it didn't help.
I think fingers are the
when
only
I went
thing
down, I popped it back in and I couldn't walk for.
I think fingers are the only thing that don't really hurt. Everything else kind of really hurts.
Yeah, the fingers are not good. The fingers.
Yeah, but that doesn't.
You can actually feel when you break a bone, like bone. You can feel on your bones.
Yeah.
You can feel heat, and you can feel like when it breaks, you feel pain.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of pain.
I get that, but on the other hand, I'd rather dislocate a finger than a hip or a knee.
I mean, yeah, I agree. I'd rather dislocate something that is much easier fixed than a major joint.
I think a toe is probably way worse than a finger.
Yeah, I would think, and you have to walk on it so afterwards. Right. So yeah, I agree.
Right. So I mean, I don't think it kind of hurts. It kind of swells up, and then you put your shoes on, try to, and then walk, and it's like, oh my god, I can't do it.
Grab the crutches.
Yeah,
you're not going anywhere. Grab crutches.
No.
Oh man.
So my next question for you is, I think that we need to get into a little bit about what KT does with her spare time, if that she has any. You've got 2 horses.
I do. I have 2 beautiful boys. The first book is actually dedicated to Delaney, who is the horse that I've had. He turns 21 this spring, and in May I'll have had him for 14 years.
Wow.
He's my boy. He's my sweet. He was the inspiration for Celestin in the book, and Dell did a lot of everything. I started working with horses when I was 11, and we barrel raced a little, not well. He's a draft horse, so it was just for fun. And he's jumped and done the hunter division. The eventing division is retired. That's the one where it's the 3 phases that you have to complete in a weekend, and they judge you on all 3, and then the winner's decided. And with him, we had to retire him at 16, and I ended up with my younger horse. His name is Gandalf, and he's a big dumb baby. I love him so much, but he's a big dumb baby. Okay. We joke that he has about 5 brain cells, but we were at 3, but we've upgraded.
You've taught him some things.
I have. He's just brave. He'll do anything you ask, and that gets us into trouble a little bit sometimes.
Oh.
But I spend a lot of time with them. They're at a barn in Weatherford, Texas, which is a beautiful place, and I love the facility that we're at. The manager has been amazing, especially now that it snowed and I can't get out there to do anything.
Yeah.
So it's nice to know they're well cared for. But I ride a lot out with them, and then in my other spare time, I play video games with my wife a lot.
Yeah.
That's definitely one of our favorite things to do. And then I play with different projects and different things. I like to crochet. I am a crocheter.
You compete in the with your horses, right?
I do. So I am an eventer. So that's where you have to do the jumping in the fields, the jumping in the ring, and then you have to do the dressage, which is a series of movements that are way too complicated in a pattern, and then they judge you on how well you do each movement. And surprisingly, that's my favorite part. It's very tedious, but I really enjoy it. Huh. The jumping is fun. We're just now getting to the point where Gandalf can safely get over the bigger obstacles on his own without me having to micromanage so much.
Oh.
So, but it's a huge adrenaline rush. You have to wear the protective vest, and you have to wear the helmet, because sometimes if you hit a jump in cross country in the field, it doesn't go down. You do.
Right.
So it can be pretty dangerous, but it's fun. I really like going out and spending time with the boys. And we're actually scheduled to do Gandalf's first actual real show for points in the USEA, which is the United States Eventing Association, and we're doing that in April. Oh, cool. So that'll be his first big event, his big boy event, because I've had him since he was 4, and he didn't know anything when I got him, so he's the first baby that I've actually brought up from the first saddle time to now, where we're at now, where he's jumping 3-foot jumps. And
how old is he now?
He is he 9 or 10? I want to say he's 9 this year. 10. It might be 10.
Okay.
9 or 10.
So it takes 6 years to train them to get to where they can compete in that kind of start competing in those events?
It depends on the horse. Some horses, different breeds, like the lighter horses, they typically can come off the track at 2 or 3, and then people can have them jumping and going within a year. But with him, I had to bring him along through college. So I was in college full time, I was working full time, and then I was spending as much time with him as possible. But it took a while for him to kind of get to where he could jump. He's a heavier horse, he's a Percheron, so it takes them longer to develop physically. So the joints in his knees didn't fuse until he was about 6, and he didn't stop growing, I swear, until he was 8. So it took a while for him to physically develop enough to safely do things, because I didn't want to ruin his joints. So we didn't really start jumping until about probably about a year or 2 ago.
Okay.
But from then, he's come really far in a really short amount of time. Just over the summer, with me being able to ride after I got over my knee, he's leaps and bounds. So I'm pretty excited about April. I think we're going to have a really good time.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's fun.
That's awesome.
A lot goes into it, but it's fun.
So do you knit his blankets for him then, since you're into knitting?
I should knit his blankets, but no, too much time.
Okay.
It took me 6 months to finish a scarf, so.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I'm a little ADHD, so I kind of flit around between projects. And lately, when I get off work, I'm so exhausted that I just go straight to video games or writing. It kind of depends on how well the day went, if I want to write or not.
Shoot.
So, yeah.
Oh, so is there anything else you want to tell your readers or your fans, or anything that you want to get off your chest before we sign off on this show?
Yeah, absolutely. Anyone that already is a fan, thank you. You make my life worth it, and the last 10 years of writing this book worth it. You can find me on Facebook. Active there. I like to post little things from the book. I do little mood boards for each character and each location, and so I've been trying to get those out as regularly. And I have a website, which is wilderwritings.com, and I try to update the blog weekly if I can. The last couple weeks it's been kind of slow going with life, and I've been working with Michael Evan a lot, so we've been doing a lot of interview stuff. But you can also find me on Instagram. It's KT Wilder, with instead of the E, there's a dot. So, but I'm pretty active on social media. I try to be. I'm trying to start up a giveaway here soon for some signed copies. And we're just
cool.
Seeing how things are going, but it's coming. I promise.
Shoot me the link so I can throw it up on my stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll send those to you.
Cool beans.
But yeah, that's it.
All right. Well, you know what? It's been an absolute pleasure getting to know you.
I've really enjoyed this. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Oh, no problem. So when do you think you'll have book 2 out?
I'm about halfway done with the first draft. So I'm really hoping within the next month or 2, I'll have a full first draft finished. And I would love to
have your grandma email me when she gets done reading it. And then we'll set up another podcast for when you get this thing released.
I'm down. Let's do it. I said it's good.
Cool.
All right.
All righty. Yeah, I'm serious though. When you get ready to release this next book, let's do another podcast. We'll talk.
Yeah, absolutely. That'd be fantastic. I'd love that.
But with that, I'm going to call this interview to a close.
All right.
This is Jeff Bacon with the DIY Writer Podcast, telling you I hope you have a great day. I hope all you in Texas warm up and thaw out your pipes, and hopefully have constant electricity.
That'd be nice.
And are able to empty out your bathtubs of all that snow that you have to be melting to flush your toilets and everything else. But with that, every day is going to get better, and I hope that you keep your chin up. Have a great day, and bye-bye.
Please hit the subscribe button. I get a bonus for every subscriber, and I only need 1,506 more to become a full-time paid employee. Help me, please.